Oftentimes I hear clients ask, I want to be toned. I don't want to get big. I don't want to get muscular. I just want to be toned. And that's an interesting concept and an interesting word. And I use that in quotations, toned, because it can mean something different to everybody. But in the end, I've grasped what it actually is. I've grasped what people are referring to. And essentially, toned means lower body fat. It means that you can see some definition at the very least in your muscles. You can see where some start and some end, or at least some sort of a barrier between them two, as opposed to being, a full arm where you can't really tell where that muscle is. And the only way you can get there is actually not by growing your muscles, but by losing body fat. At the same time, you're going to firm up those muscles underneath. You're going to use those muscles to burn energy, but to also tell your body that you need to keep muscle and burn fat. And as that fat melts away, as that snow dissipates, you're going to see a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more definition. And in itself, losing the body fat might make you look a little bit more muscular. And I think that's really what the toned look is. And I guess the concern is to look too muscular. And really, the only time that actually happens is if you drop your body fat so low and your muscles go up. But again, if that's your goal, this is great. That's where we're going to go. But if you're concerned and you just really want to be toned, I'm telling you that the first step is losing body fat. And the only way you lose body fat is if you're in a calorie deficit. It does not have to be more fancy than that. And there's a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of concepts. There's a lot of programs that are suggesting that it has to be more complicated than that. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't. The concept is simple. The application may be a little bit more challenging, but it is pretty straightforward. You need to be in a calorie deficit. Burn more calories than you ingest so that your body has to use the body fat, and you used to use it everywhere over your body. And then you start to slowly see the snow as it melts. You can see the terrain underneath. You can see the muscles underneath, and you can consider yourself toned. But at the same time, you cannot get away with not doing any muscular training. You have to solidify that muscle. You have to make sure your body keeps it. You have to grow it even in a little bit. And it has to be firm, because that's essentially what toned ends up being. It's firm rather than sort of movable, if you want to call it that. So I know what you're searching for when you say toned. And toned is a very interesting word because there's slight variances and definitions for it. But it essentially means that you've lost enough body fat that you can see the terrain, which is your muscles and your structure underneath that fat. So really, the first step is to lose body fat.